that's right. At saka,
Hi, Nick.
Bumili pa nga ako nung kanyang cape. Ganda-ganda. Hanggang ngayon ginagamit ko.
Ay, talaga.
Oo.
Very-
Ang ganda, very fashionable. Ay, tumawag ako sa nag-text ako sa EMB, NCR Director, si Attorney Don. Ni-report ko yun. I-report daw niya sa DENR.
Oh my God, I see a friend I have not seen for a long time.
Oh.
Helen Mayo.
Hi,
Hi,
baby.
Helen.
Yes.
How are you? Do you
Helen
remember-
Mayo is my cousin-in-law.
Oh, wow.
Helen.
Talaga?
Yes.
Sonia ito.
You know, I'm
Hello?
so excited today. You know why, Nina?
Yeah, why?
I just talked to meron kasi kami sinusupport na grupo ng mga madre sa sa may Barangay Pansol.
Oo.
And she was asking my help about buying this giant bamboo. Do you know about that? The
What
giant
about
bamboo
it?
that
What
they
about
want to plant along the Marikina watershed. It's a giant bamboo na ang ano daw 14 ang base niya. And then I talked to Father Beltran just now. And yung project daw nila yon, Philippine Bamboo Industrial Development Authority. They want to raise
To that, oo.
159,000 something of this bamboo and plant it there.
Wonderful.
Pero ang mahal ha, it's 350 per shoot.
For sure. Is that the native? I hope that's the native bamboo.
It is an indigenous Philippine bamboo daw to.
Oh.
Hi Helen.
Hi. Hello.
Helen.
Good afternoon. Yes. It's me. Yeah, I'm interested in this topic.
She has her own garden. Helen has her own garden.
Yes, I did. I made my own organic vegetable garden.
Wow, I moved to a townhouse, so I don't have the space now. Helen, I don't think you're the Helen I know. Helen, do you remember a baby doble?
Yes, baby, I'm the same one.
Are you the same? We were together in the Fern and Nature Society. Helen,
I know.
I miss you.
Yeah. I miss you too. I've not seen you for the longest time.
For ages.
And Sonia is the cousin. Yeah. So Sonia is the cousin of my husband, Red.
Oh,
Helen. Cousin of Red.
Yeah.
Si Red.
Mayo.
Yeah.
Yes.
we
Sa Sales
even went,
side.
we even went to your on a field trip, huh? Where's this? In Batangas ba?
San Juan?
We went on
San
a field
Juan.
trip. San Juan, Batangas ba yun?
Yes. Yes.
You know, you pray naman for our member, si Jake Gao. We are putting up a botanical garden in his zoo. Because we were supposed to put up a botanical garden at the Clark Green City. But somehow, yung kontrata namin di na-honor when there was a change of government. So we are putting the botanical garden in the zoo. He's reserving a space. But it was ravaged by the typhoon. Part of it was ravaged by the typhoon. Ano to Rizal? Ano tawag doon?
Shafi, is Chen here?
Not yet po, pero Miss Anna is calling her na po.
Then you give your number, ha? Sa chat box.
Oh yeah. Of course, do that right now.
Helen, iba ba yung buhok mo ngayon? Bakit nag-iba?
Sino?
Si Helen, parang iba yung hair niya.
I haven't been to the parlor since the start of the
Ako nagpuputol. Pinuputol ko yung buhok ko dito sa mga tabi-tabi.
So Ime is already here. Hi, Ime.
Ime, hi daw.
Hindi siya naka-on eh.
Hi, Ime.
Hi. You want to see
Hi,
me?
She
Ime.
wants to be on.
There you are.
Hi, Lydia. Tansinsin is here.
Oh, wonderful. Hi, Lydia. Mukhang magkakilala kayong lahat ah.
Hi,
My
Rodney.
God, this is a reunion.
Yeah.
There's
Ganyan
you
yata
guys.
ganyan yata sa Pilipinas. Everybody knows everybody.
Hello.
Who's this?
Hi, Rodney.
Hi, Rodney.
I'm in isolation now.
Why?
I had a direct contact sa isang
Oh my gosh.
COVID-19 suspect.
Oh my God.
We're still waiting for the swab test result. Medyo matagal.
Ingat.
I'm
You
in a
take
panic.
salabat. You take salabat and you inhale the hot vapor.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. All these
And
alternative
Virgin
contraceptives.
busy
Hi,
po.
Len.
Actually.
Andiyan na si Len. Hi,
Hi.
Ime.
Ay, Inday.
Hello.
Inday Beroya.
Hello, Inday.
Hi, I see
Dito
you.
pa tayo nagkita.
Oo nga.
Pag neighbor lang
Hello,
kayo.
Inday.
Oo. May garden club kami. Very active si Inday.
Pero natatakot akong pumunta sa garden.
Ako, hindi pa ako nagpupunta, si Victoria lang.
Oo, tatakot ako eh.
Hi.
Oo, huwag ka mag-risk.
Shall we start in 3 minutes?
Sure.
Well,
Okay,
do we
but
have our
we don't have a
speakers?
speaker yet.
Okay.
Hi,
Hi, good
guys.
afternoon, everybody.
Ah, Cora is
Hi,
everybody.
Cora. Nice to see you.
Hi. I am cooking while I am tuned in. So I'm using my standard picture.
Okay.
Okay.
Ano niluluto mo naman?
What time? I'm cooking my brunch. I don't have a maid, so I only cook once a day brunch. And then evening, I don't cook anymore. I just eat something raw. So shortcut. What time are we starting?
In a while, as soon as at least one speaker comes in.
Okay.
Oo.
Wala pa si Ipat din.
Speakers are
Okay,
all
sige.
women. All
Yeah.
women tayo ngayon.
Si Rodney nandyan. Rodney is nandyan.
Ilan
Somebody,
na ba tayo?
The only Thorn.
Carlo is here.
Si Rodney lang ang
Yes,
Thorn.
Carlos there.
Carlo daw, nandyan na.
somebody remarked
Last time
na.
naman, hindi ba
Puro
last
men.
week puro male
Puro men.
speakers?
Ang dami na natin, 47.
But we have no speaker. Oh my gosh. Where are they?
Who is that?
Can you contact them? Di sa akin yun.
Sino
yung
kaya yun
pumupukpok.
nagpapagawa ng bahay?
Kanina
Nagkakapentero.
yun. Kung minsan may asong tumatahol, ganyan.
Nagpupukpok.
Please mute yourself if that's in your house.
Oo nga. Di ba last time may tumatahol? Ang aso? Oh, si Vicky. Where are you,
Vicky.
Vicky?
Vicky.
Vicky. Why can't I see you?
Hi, Marie. You're
Nasaan
looking
kayo, ah?
good.
Nasaan na kayo?
Marie,
there's
you're
Marie.
good.
I'm looking. What?
You're looking good.
What did you say, Sonia?
You're looking
Oh,
good.
thank you.
Pinaulit mo
Oo.
pa ha?
Bumabata.
Thank you.
Ba't di ko
Wow.
makita yung gallery?
Nice to hear. Sarap, ah. Si Sister Sonia, oh. Hello, Sister Sonia.
Naka-mask
Oo.
kasi may ibang tao
Miss
sa
Chen.
office ko ngayon eh. Naka-mask ako dahil may ibang tao sa office ko. Pero naka-uniform ako ng ano.
Kaya naka-mask siya.
Naka-uniform ako. Oh.
Kamas pa si Vicky.
Naka-mask ako kasi
Nasa office kasi siya.
may ibang tao.
Terno naman. Terno naman sa dress niya.
Basta
Oo
si
nga.
Vicky, ganyan talaga. Pati kanyang underwear yata. Ano,
Shafi, will you let us know as soon as one speaker is in already so we can start?
Sige po, pero wala pa po sila. Dr. G, we
Ay,
tried contacting Miss Chen
Pwede ba natin
through her
silang
landline,
tawagan or what?
but she wasn't answering. Do you have another contact number po?
let me try to contact her.
Okay po, thank you.
Sige. Kasi this is the first time, no? That we don't have our speakers. Oh,
Doon
that's Emmanuel.
Doon nagpupunta kay Emmanuel. Doon nagpupunta.
Emmanuel,
doon.
paki-mute yung mic mo para hindi madinig yung pokpok.
Early warning system siguro yan.
Final na ba yung decision tungkol diyan sa tungkol doon, Inday? Final na yung decision tungkol diyan sa ano nga ang tawag na botanical garden? Hindi na talaga pwede doon sa New Clark City?
Sige pa rin sa Clark City. In fact, when I last saw Vince Dison, sabi niya, in-announce pa niya dun sa ano namin, he hosted a lunch. Siya pang nag-announce na we're going to have a botanical garden. Kaya lang, the ones who are holding back, sila Letty at saka sila Ellie, kasi nga, hanggang ngayon, hindi pa, there is no fixed, yung land, ano ba tawag doon, yung map, yung with the maps, yung borders ng mga different properties. Hindi, there is no fixed one. That's the one that they want. They want a permanent one. Hindi pa lumalabas kasi, di ba, as the locators come in, they occupy, nag-iiba-iba yung boundaries. So, ang nangyari,
okay.
Yeah, we decided to do na lang muna sa Avilon.
Okay. So, temporary, lang yon solution.
Yeah.
Okay.
In fact,
But
akala ni Vince Dison were already working there.
Okay, but because that's what I just heard na instead of doing it there, we will just do it in Avilon, and then so wala na yon. That's what I heard earlier.
Yeah,
That's a misinterpretation. It's a misinterpretation.
Okay.
Tuloy pa rin, Len? Ito supposed to be how many hectares?
Which one?
The one yung sa, that's why you put up this Fern and Nature or whatever.
Yung sa Clark, ang sa Clark, it's 5 hectares they gave us and 20 hectares Earth Day Network. Yung sa naman, the Avilon Zoo is formally converting from zoological park to zoological and botanical park. So we will name the species there, and then there will be a half hectare na parang showcase garden.
How big ba is the one that we are aiming to develop in the New Clark City?
For Fern and Nature, 5 hectares.
Originally 100, di ba?
Originally, yung
100
sa Earth Day
hectares for...
Yes, originally
parang
that was
showcase
100.
lang yan eh.
I see a friend here in the list. Hello, Dado. Santa Ana. Dado, hello. Dado is used to be a regular in the yung physical Kamayan dun sa restaurant mismo. So I'm glad you found us online, Dado. Hello, Dado. Hello, Libay.
Hello, hi.
Hi. Si Libay naman. Where are you, Libay? I saw you already.
Hello, hello, hello.
There you go. Levi, hello.
Hello, hello, hello.
Choppy. Hi, hello. I can hear you, Levi. Choppy ba ako? It says my internet connection is unstable.
It's okay. Your sound is okay.
Sorry, Attorney Ipat Luna is here na po.
Ayan.
Okay. She's supposed to be the last speaker, but she
Yes.
will be the first kung
Hindi
hindi
mo mauna.
gagawin yung iba as... Ha?
And
Pwede
then
na mo.
Fajardo, is that you?
Going to happen. I had expected to be home by the time this happened, but there's traffic. I wanted to show you
Hi,
my
Fairy.
garden.
Hi, Pat.
Hi. Hi,
Okay,
David.
maybe we can start now.
Okay.
Shall we start?
There.
Where's Nina? Oh, Nina is trying to contact our speakers, right?
These are the participants.
I know, baby Dolores is open way. What happened?
You just click it again.
Hi,
Hi,
Ipat.
Ipat.
Hello, everyone. Nice to be in
Ipat.
the company of fellow environmentalists again.
Ipat, report lang ako sa'yo.
I'm sorry, what?
I'll take this chance to report to you. Si Nana Barcelona called me na pinuputol daw yung mga mango trees sa Broadway Street. I-report mo naman sa... Sino ba in charge sa DENR ngayon doon? Mga...
The NCR si Jackie Kaankan. But
Jack.
alam mo, the regional office will have a hard time declining a permit because all infrastructure and even private development is exempted from the from the commercial logging ban. So even as director at that time, walang legal basis to decline the application eh. So there needs to be a change in the law for the directors to be able to say no. Or citizens can request ECC before the removal of substantial carbon reduction parang services in the area. Pero technically speaking, pag ikaw yung red, mahihirapan kang humindi eh. Kasi walang legal basis. Kasi road right of way.
Eh, pero alam mo naman ng Broadway, ano na yung road na yun eh. Sabi ni Diana, sidewalk na lang ang matitira pag inalis mo yung mga puno. Dalawa na daw yung napuputo.
Oo nga, sayang. Ang ganda pa naman dun.
Oo, tsaka ang lalaki. Century.
Ano na lang, citizens can demand ECC for reducing the carbon sequestration capacity of the road. Pero legally speaking, pag humingi na ng cutting permit ang DPWH, there's no way to say no legally eh. Kasi very clearly in the EO, Pinoy time pa yon, exempted ang private development at saka infrastructure, road right of way.
Maybe we should change the law.
Hanap ko lang paraan para humindi kung critically endangered yung puno. So pwede kayong umiwas yung kalye kung critically endangered yung puno, pero mango trees are not eh. So I would find it hard unless we really lobby for a change in the policy.
Oh my God, putol na lahat yun.
Can I say
Putol na
something?
lahat.
Can I say something?
Pero for future, we should change the law. Pangit naman ba?
Well, I think we should also just, since sinana natin yung tanim para mas mahirapan sila, at ang itanim nyo critically endangered, kamagong, lawaan.
Itatanim natin.
Yes. Kasi may basis kami to say, ay critically endangered yan, hindi pwede. Pero pag mangga, medyo hindi kaya eh.
ni hindi
At
native
maybe,
eh.
at maybe,
So biodiversity-wise, hindi rin kasing ganda and wala ring legal basis.
Right, hindi kasi nga pati native. Di ba, Ime? Dapat native.
Unlike mahogany, may biodiversity services naman ng mangga kasi nangangain niya ng bats, nangangain niya ng ibon. Unlike mahogany na wala talagang kasilbi-silbi sa native species. Pero mas importante pa rin kung critically endangered kasi pwede mo sabihin, look, the Wildlife Act will not allow us to issue any permit despite the exemption under the ban.
Okay, I think we should start now, don't you? Shafi, are you ready to start? Where's Nina?
yeah, let's start now. I'm still contacting the, si Chen did not know it was today.
Oh my God.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
So I'm trying to call her friend, the other Miss Galvez.
Oh, wow.
Okay, let's start now with Ipat.
Okay. Well, my apologies. I thought I was going to
Again,
be
just
back at home to show you the rooftop garden, but I'm still on the road. But hopefully, I'll reach there in a few minutes while we are still online.
sige. Yeah.
So,
Okay.
start na? Where you?
Yeah, let's start.
Yeah, it's about to start.
Okay, everyone, please get ready for the Philippine National Anthem.
You're watching Kamayan para sa Kalikasan Forum. Let us prepare ourselves for the opening prayer to be led by Sonia Mendoza, Chairman of Mother Earth Foundation.
A prayer for our earth. All-powerful God, you are present in the whole universe and in the smallest of your creatures. You embrace with your tenderness all that exists. Pour upon us the power of your love, that we may protect life and beauty. Fill us with peace, that we may live as brothers and sisters, harming no one. O God of the poor, help us to rescue the abandoned and forgotten of this earth, so precious in your eyes. Bring healing to our lives, that we may protect the world and not prey on it, that we may sow beauty, not pollution and destruction. Touch the hearts of those who look only for gain at the expense of the poor and the earth. Teach us to discover the worth of each thing, to be filled with awe and contemplation, to recognize that we are profoundly united with every creature as we journey towards your infinite light. We thank you for being with us each day. Encourage us, we pray, in our struggle for justice, love, and peace. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Sonia. Good afternoon. Mainit at masayang pagbati sa inyong lahat. Welcome to the longest running environmental forum in the Philippines, or possibly in the world. This is session number 365 of the 30-year-old Kamayan para sa Kalikasan Forum, held every third Friday of the month since 1990.
Wow.
This forum brought to you by Green Convergence, or GC for short, and Kamayan Restaurant, with support from Forest Foundation Philippines. We are currently live streaming at the GC Facebook page, and a video recording will be uploaded to the GC website for later viewing. This is Marie Marciano of GC, your forum moderator. And I'm happy to introduce to you my co-moderator, who is the Vice President of Green Convergence and Executive Director of the Environmental Studies Institute of Miriam College. Dr. Carlo Garcia. Magandang hapon, Carlo.
Oh, good afternoon, everyone. I hope that you've recovered or in the process of recovering from the impact of the recent typhoon. We are in a challenging time, and even more challenging because of the pandemic. But despite that, you're here, and your presence is appreciated. Well, hi, Marie. Hi again, and thank you for,
Yes.
thank you for inviting me or requesting me to be your co-moderator, and I look forward to another learning opportunity for me and for all of us here.
Well, thank you very much. And now, usap tayo mamaya, Carlo. To jumpstart the discussions, let's listen to the President of Green Convergence, Dr. Nina Galen.
Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to our Kamayan, which unfortunately we cannot have Kamayan. Virtual lunch na lang. Marie, of course, was the immediate vice president of Green Convergence, and she has been with this forum since its inception. And she had been, even before, one of the co-moderators, because this was founded by her brother, Mr. Reyes, and
Ding Reyes. Ding Reyes, yes.
Si Ding Reyes and Vic Milan, who many of you know. It's nice to see so many co-environmentalists here. This is like a reunion. And I hope that by every month you will be joining us for this learning session every third Friday of the month. The title of this is part 2 of our theme, food security in the time of the pandemic and beyond. Well, it is now beyond, although beyond here does not mean we're through with the pandemic, but beyond meaning outside and in the whole context of where we are now in the pandemic, meaning our situation, whether we have the pandemic or not. And we just finished our, we have just been through Raleigh and Ulysses, and we see how important food security is. In ordinary times, we still have people who are very hungry, and definitely this is exacerbated when we have crisis. So webinars like this are so important to make sure that our people get the nourishment that they should have for good quality of life. Last month, we had part 1, where we had three males, three men, who gave us the macro situation, the the food security in meat and vegetables in the country, and um, a system um, which would enhance food security, which was Masipag. Now we are supposed to have three ladies who will give us the micro systems. Relatively, one is a little bigger than micro, but this is something that we can all do to help the situation. We hear that prices of food has gone up, and we're glad that there is now a declaration that we are in a state of calamity, which means basic food stuff prices will not should not go up. But still, we know that supply and demand, the law will always be there somehow. So anything we can do to dampen the problem, let's. And so producing our own food is not only satisfying and giving us food, but it will also help the national situation. So we're very glad that we have speakers who will speak to us on urban farming, um, growing our own delicious, safe, nutritious food. So welcome again, everyone, and let's have another fruitful session.
Okay, thank you very much, Nina. And now I have to repeat again for the nth time once more the guidelines are how we are going to proceed with the forum, because laging may bago no? So uh, bear with us, yung mga dati nang nakakarinig nito, we have to do this so that there will be no confusion. Okay, so the forum has three main parts. The part one, I hope you can hear me. I see your internet connection is unstable. Can you still hear me? Am I okay?
Loud and clear, Marie. Loud and clear.
Anyone?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Na-insecure ako. Laging lumalabas yung your internet is unstable. So,
Pero
okay.
malinaw ka, malinaw.
Part 1 is three portions to, no? So part 1 is when we listen to all our resource speakers. And then we are not going to ask any questions at that time. Forum participants may take down notes. If they're forgetful, they can, write down their questions so they don't forget, because the questions will only be asked during the second portion. That's when we will entertain all questions, which will not be answered right away. We're just going to listen to all the questions, and it is the turn of the resource speakers to write down or take note of the questions and once asking them, so that they can be answered during the third portion, okay, which is when all the questions will be answered by our resource speakers. So I hope that's clear. No questions during the first portion, all questions on the second portion, and all answers on the third portion. So okay ba yun, Carlo? Clear ba yun, you
Yes, very
think?
clear, Marie.
Okay, so now it's your turn. Meron ka ding reminders
Okay.
Diba?
Well, the participants know this already. So consider this as reminders. To avoid distracting ambient noise, put your mic on mute, please, or the host will do it for you throughout the
Kaya kanina may
of
pumupokpok.
of the webinar. Of course, except during the open forum, when you are welcome to speak and ask questions. And detailed guidelines will be given at the start of the open forum so that no one will forget. And for the meantime, you may use the chat box for comments, reactions, or messages. Back to you, Marie.
Salamat. Okay, now we are ready to listen to open the first portion of our forum, which is when we listen to our resource speakers. Our final speaker has now become the first speaker because she's the first to come in. So while we're waiting for the others, we are going to listen to a lot to what she has to say. And alam mo, kilala ko to, marami siyang masasabi. Our speaker has been engaged in environmental law and policy practice for over 2 decades. She has managed several foundations and organizations for the conservation of the environment. She has built local consensus on important policy decisions affecting natural resources and habitats, particularly in protected areas, and has published numerous works in these fields. She has also assisted in crafting public health policies in the last decade and is an advocate for safe food, parang green convergence. She is currently executive trustee of PUSOD Inc. and a member of the Environmental Law Alliance Worldwide. Friends, let us all welcome Attorney Ipat Luna. Good afternoon, Ipat.
Hi,
Hello.
thank you, Marie. Thank you. I'm so glad that Kamayan Forum is still ongoing, and I'm so glad you're still on top of it. Uh, Unfortunately, I'm still not at home right now, so I will be able to show you. I'm probably 5 minutes away from home, so when I get home, I will show you what I have in terms of what you were saying as micro intervention. And I really wish this pandemic gives us an opportunity to be more hands-on. Uh, Dati kasi I have to admit, I would rely on my health to be able to expect that they will be the ones to do the segregation, find a way to use this or that thing that I would not like to throw away. So yung mga frustrations ko noon, medyo na-address ko ngayon dahil pandemic at ako mismo yung nag-aalaga nung lahat ng bagay, no? So, siguro even before in principle, no, palagi naman tayong zero waste. And I just like to emphasize that this is a process. We cannot expect perfection anytime, no? Hanggang dulo meron tayong challenges. But as we progress, isa-isa nating nahahanapan ng paraan, and yung paraan na nahahanap natin ay um, may benepisyo sa atin. It's never just a sacrifice to find things to be useful. And urban gardening has really given me a second life for all my patapon, no? Kasi dati maraming hindi na kaya, no? Yung mga supot-supot kahit nung mga snacks, no? Paminsan-minsan you give yourself, no, a treat from your memories from childhood. Bibili ka ng snack pack na chips. Ngayon, tinataniman ko na siya ng dungon. Ang trick sa kanya, babalik rin mo yung supot para nakalabas yung, para hindi naman pangit, no? Para nakalabas yung silver part. Tapos yun yung iyong seedling, no? Seedling container. And of course, you keep them all because normally you buy the same things, no? You have a brand loyalty. So if you buy the same things, you can still expect a certain level of uniformity in your seedlings, no? That's one thing. So, before, madali lang yung ibang mga practices for segregation that allows you to do um, uh, composting at home. There's a mango tree of the neighbor, nagsished siya palagi ng branches, twigs, at saka eaten fruit, bat-eaten fruit, at saka leaves, no? So walis ako ng walis, tambak lang ako ng tambak sa isang malaking sako na sako lang siya pero may handles. I got it from a junk shop. And it's not hard at all. Parang basta ilalagay mo lang doon. After some rain, after some sun, lupa na yung ilalim niya, hindi ka nabibili, no? Ngayon na nahihilig ang mga tao sa plants, 60 pesos ang minimum ng isang sako nun. Pero if you build the soil yourself, you know that it's safe. Your hands can work with it without fear. You know there aren't too many other materials that might be compromising, no, to your health. So build your own soil. It's the responsible thing to do. And I hope many of us here have seen Kiss the Ground, which is a Woody Harrelson film in Netflix, na nagsasabi na talagang napakalaking impact kung ibabalik natin ang kasiglahan ng ating mga lupa. It's a very thin layer over the earth that supports plant life and that actually supports all life. And that layer is sensitive and needs to be protected. Ano? And the way to protect it is to ensure that the natural processes of the natural cycles of decay and yung mga sa plants, yung Krebs cycle, yung nasusuportahan mo yung carbon cycle, natural nitrogen cycle, even the water cycle. As long as your garden supports those cycles, then we can see that the natural patterns are mimicked and your soil will be healthy. Ano? Ako hindi ako masyadong technical. I don't do the temperature of the compost. I don't do the acidity and all that. Medyo it's beyond me. I have too many things to think about. I'm what you call a lazy urban gardener. But even then, with experimentation, nakikita mo naman kung anong klaseng plants na ang nagtathrive, kung anong klaseng soil. Kasi uh, since since the pandemic, when I have been managing the home hands-on and myself without any help, nahahanapan ko ng paraan na magamit yung mga dati kakailanganin ng ibaon or itapon. So I started bokashi composting for all the things that will not go into my regular compost because baka maka-attract siya ng vermin, ano? So yung bokashi bin, my son still complains that it's too smelly when he puts things inside the bin. But to have soil at the end of the process, medyo satisfying siya. Although to me, I think it's still too involved for people who have busy lives. And so I think there needs to be LGU support to pick up the bokashi after it's for curing, no? Kasi kailangan mo pa i-layer 'yon bago yan maging cured. So there's a regular compost for the leaves, for the vegetable scraps, and tambak lang yun ng tambak, hindi masyado yan i-vermin. Walang daga, hindi masyadong pinepeste. Pero yung mga meat, bones, fish, cooked food, to be safe, binobokashi ko na yan. And the other thing I've been having difficulty with before was used oil. No? Pag nag-fry ka, tapos actually 3 beses mo lang naman pwede magamit. Afterwards, it becomes carcinogenic na. Kailangan yung used oil mo, iniipon pa rin, you filter it, and then I have made soap with my used oil. It's a very simple process. It's not soap that I will use for bathing because it's used oil, so it smells like bacon sometimes, or it smells like chicken or tofu, pero pwedeng gamitin for dirty jobs like washing out your driveway or cleaning out your trash bins. I'm just pulling inside my house so I can show you my bokashi bin, which is right outside. Um, It's also very good when you drain out the fluids inside the bokashi bin to clear out your drains. Kung nagka-clog yung drains, this still has an effect on ensuring that the microorganisms work on the things that clog your drains. So this is my bokashi bin. I'm just getting into the house. So I keep it right outside the door in the garage, and I close the door whenever I open it so that the smell doesn't get into the house. And if you have, I bought one of these things for coffee before. So if you don't want to sprinkle the bran over the bokashi, this one has parang portions, no? You click it and it dispenses a certain amount of coffee. That's the way I spread bran on top of the newly deposited bokashi, newly deposited food, no, so that it doesn't smell down the line. I'll show you the soap that I made from the used oil. And this soap will not be bad for your plants if you wash your plants with it because wala naman siyang ibang mga ibang mga gamit. Sorry, my household is noisy. um, I have a shelf up there where I cure the soap. Hindi ko na maakyat. This is an example of the soap made from used oil. So inipon ko yan over 5 months. And then now my friends have given me used oil of their own household. This is from my fellow birder, John Villasper. Inipon niya yung oil, tapos binigay niya sa akin para magawa ko rin na soap. No? Tapos I hope I can give him some of that soap when I make it after it's cured. So slowly, one by one, dati matagal pa rin yung proseso para mahanap ko yung paraan para magamit yung ibang mga bagay na natatapon pa rin or nababaon pa rin. Pero I guess the objective is to find beneficial use. Ang laging sinasabi ko sa staff dun sa farm, kailangan hanapan ng pakinabang. No? Lahat ng bagay. Hindi itatapon, hahanapan ng pakinabang. And, sorry. I'd just like to show you, this is now the garden and the mango tree. In terms of marketing this stuff, para hindi tayo nag-uusap, I think there's a wave of plantito, plantita, and my husband likes to call himself a halaman. Pwede nating tingnan kung anong klaseng halaman ang papatok kanino. Sa akin, mahilig ako sa puno. This is my dap-dap. 1 kilo of dap-dap. Ganito karami yung halaman. And I have the same amount in Batangas. Dap-dap is a thorny tree and it has beautiful flowers. Noong 2015, nagkaroon ng blight. May peste na kumain ng mga dap-dap na lining the roads of CCP, Rojas Boulevard. So I raised a lot of dap-dap for street side planting. Akala ko konti lang mabubuhay. I just bought a kilo of seed. Pero palagay ko maraming puno ang magagawa, maraming puno ang pakikinabangan natin from that dap-dap. No? Ano pa? I have a rooftop garden. I simply put a regular aluminum ladder that I climb, that my husband tied up to the roof para hindi daw bumagsak at mahulog ako. Sorry, up here on the roof is my barrels. Now, I'd like to show you, even if this is not its ideal condition. Because if, kunyari, limbawa, nagbagyuhan, napabayaan mo, it's still going to give you some things, no? I just sold 100 pesos worth of basil, Thai basil. Today, I harvested it. It's not much, pero pag alam mo na may value, nakakatuwa rin. Saka alam mo na yung mga tao naghahanap, pangit daw yung flavor nung nasa supermarket. So, you feel proud, no? And I will never run out of kamote tops, regular sweet basil. I have here, nagtanim din ako ng isang atis, kasi favorite fruit ko. And then I have amaranth, no? Because I'm a lazy gardener, yun lang mga madali talagang tumubo. Kagaya ng talinum. Yung mga hindi maalaga masyado na pagkain. So this kamote, aside from steaming, I've found a way to make it into sisig, vegetarian sisig. So you just chop it up and it becomes sisig. There are a few things that I take care of, like sinisimulan kong tingnan kung tutubo itong lemons from the seed. Nandito yun sa gitna. So kahit na ito, patay na yung ibang holes nung aking barrel, sige lang, subok lang ng subok. Kaya yan namamatay kasi nasa shade nung kamote. Pero tingnan natin kung paano. I guess as every farmer learns, you just learn as you go. No? This used to also have lots of lettuce, talong, okra. Pero kapag halimbawa, uwi kami sa Batangas for weeks, napabayaan, laging may makakain dun sa mga bagay na weeds naman. So for example, pansit-pansitan. I have lots on my pots downstairs. So I guess the point is, this is good disaster preparedness. Kasi ayaw mo naman ng dilata. Kahit bagyuhin to, harvestin mo lang bago pumasok yung bagyo, may nakatago ka na kamote tops. Tapos pagkatapos ng bagyo, mabilis naman siyang mabuhay ulit kasi nabasa siya ng bagyo. Policy-wise, because I'm a lawyer, I think the important thing really is for LGUs to support home gardening, not just by giving seeds, not just by giving, not just by programs that they roll out, but actual technical support and subsidies, no? Halimbawa tong ganitong barrels or yung compost bins or vermi, sana may subsidy. Tapos sana may pick up ng bokashi or sana may nag-iikot na namimili ng produkto, no? Na pwede mo, like ang dami kong talinom na nabubulok na lang, hindi ko naman pinapamigay ko sa kapitbahay, pero minsan nagsasawa na rin sila sa talinom kasi para siyang weed, ang bilis niyang tumubo. So local government support, I think, is very important if we are going to ensure that it continues to become incentivized and we don't find it too difficult to take care of our garden. So I still work full-time. I take care of my own home. I don't have help, but this gives me a way to be off-screen. This gives me a way to keep my hands dirty in the ground, no? And it gives me a chance to exercise my brain power in terms of ano ba ang gusto ng basil, ano ba ang gusto ng kamote, no? Tapos pag maraming kamote, ano pwede gawin sa kamote? So I hope a lot of people urge their local government to help them, give them technical support, give them subsidies, pick up their bokashi, pick up their products, so that we can see a real renaissance of urban gardening in Metro Manila. I think some local governments already have some projects, but kailangan talaga padamihin natin. No? Besides that, uso yung ornamental plants. My husband is getting into raising aglonema ba yun? Or basta ornamental plants. I'm very happy with, I don't know if you can see, with Cosmos because it's so easy to grow. So I suppose that's it. Thank you. Happy to answer questions on part 3.
Okay, thank you so much. Carlo, did you hear that? Nagtatanim ka na ba?
Yeah, inspiring indeed.
Alam mo, totoo yun, yung sinasabi ni Ipat, na we really need it for disaster risk reduction. Alam mo, ang hirap pag wala kang makain. At least kahit anong bagyo dyan, meron ka pa rin kakainin, you know. I used to have also kamote, basil, tapos oregano, yung mga spices kasi mahilig akong magpasta-pasta. So yun, mga spices and herbs and ganyan. So talagang I wanted to listen to this session. I knew I was going to learn a lot from this. Kasi naging uso nga yung plantito-plantita. Sa paligid nyo ba, Carlo, marami rin ganun, mga friends mo?
Oh yes.
Mga plantito-plantita, getting crazy.
Born out of the pandemic. Became such because of the pandemic.
Oo. Yeah. Parang walang magawa sa bahay, nakulong. So, nag-grow ng something kasi it's very gratifying to see because kung wala pa, I have a suggestion, no? Maybe some of our participants can give us pointers. Mga pagturo din sila kung mga plantito sila. I know for a fact, Libay, Talastas Bituin does this. So, nandito si Libay, baka meron ka namang tips for to share. Libay, what do you think? Di ba marami kang produce? Libay, are you there? Wala na yata si Libay. Anyone who does this is welcome to share. Sino nagtatanim dyan o nagpa-practice ng, maski na hindi food, pero gusto nang maging food. Yung ornamentals kasi, eye candy yun eh. No? Yun namang food plants for our sustenance and our health. It's important. Pwede kasi kahit sa pots lang eh. No, ang daming pwedeng i-grow sa pots, pocket gardens in the house. So, malaking bagay if we can all do this. So, sino kaya ang makakapagbigay ng tips? Anyone?
Hi, Marie. Can I join?
Yes,
Hi.
sure, yes.
Hi. Well, I just got back from Baguio and I have a small herb garden. And when you have thyme, mint, and also tarragon, you discourage the mosquitoes from coming in because they don't like the smell of those three herbs.
That's right. That's right.
If you don't like mosquitoes, just plant mint, thyme, and tarragon.
Yeah, and you have nice tea. Di ba, Tess? You have nice tea when you have those things. Tarragon, mint. Sarap kaya.
Well, the mint goes well with mojito.
Aha, yes. As if naman umiinom ako. I'm allergic to alcohol. So I take alcohol by the tablespoon. Tess, it's so nice to see you. I haven't seen you in forever.
Yeah, I know. Well, baby.
Bakit ngayon ka lang nag-join?
No, baby Doble gave me the link. So I joined.
Hi, Tess.
Oh, nice. Si Tess, oh. Miss na kita, Tess.
Marie?
Yeah, so.
Hi, Marie.
See, ayun. Oh, yeah.
There are questions
Carlo?
in
Who's
the
that?
chat box. Probably while waiting for the next
there are questions?
to enter the meeting room. I mean, the participants can answer. Of course, the speaker can answer these questions. Would you like me to read?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Good idea, Carlo. Yes, please do.
Two questions from Miss Mila Paraiso. Her first question is, what is the English name of dap-dap? The second question is, let me read this first. I want to propagate one soy or cilantro, but when I buy at the grocery and find with roots, unfortunately, it does not grow. Where can I find seed of cilantro to buy? And from Sir Jonas Maramara, can you teach us how to turn used oil to soap? And then he mentioned that I do hydroponics, planting lettuce.
Oh, maybe he can share with us his techniques. Who was that? Maramara?
Sir Jonas Maramara. Sir Jonas.
Jonas, or maybe Jonas, you can share with us your hydroponics experience and techniques also, since we have time. And yeah, for the questions, siguro, Ipat, can you answer them?
Well, dap-dap is Erythrina variegata. No, that's the Latin. We normally for trees, we focus on the Latin because the Tagalog names are generic, no? Kunyari balayong, it's the same as tindalo, but you also call Palawan cherry balayong. So we try to use the scientific names, and slowly I'm getting the hang of it. I can always say Vitex parviflora, or mas madali na kapag marami kang kausap who are also enthusiasts in trees, no? I have white lawaan downstairs, white nato, I have malapapaya, tapos exciting yung mga rare, no? Kasi alam mo na pag tinanim mo critically endangered, no? Sabi nga nila pag if you murder somebody, bury them and put a critically endangered plant on top so that they won't allow you to dig him up. Pero used oil, I just found a YouTube video. As long as you put charcoal for a few days, mawawala yung amoy inside the used oil, and then fish it out when you're going to use it already. The store in Divisoria is Everlast. That's the only place I can buy very inexpensive of the NaOH. Ano nga ba yun? Sodium hydrochloride. Yun yung
Sodium hydroxide, Ipat. Sodium hydroxide.
Yes, yun. You buy it and then you use it with diluted water. You wait for it to cool down and then you mix the oil using a hand blender, or sometimes I do it manually already. And then you just pour it into the soap soap molds, and then you wait. You wait a day or two, and then you unmold, and then you wait another month before you can use it. It's quite easy, no? Soap, cold processed soap ang tawag dyan. There's another hot process, pero it's more involved. Like I said, I'm a lazy cook. I'm a lazy gardener, so that people will understand that it can be quite easy if you're not too hung up on all these things. If you're just experimenting and it doesn't matter to you too much kung pare-pareho lang yung nabubuhay, pwede ka namang magpansit-pansitan, talinom, hali-halili lang yung mga easy to grow weed-like variety of food. Kung okay lang sa'yo yon, it's not that hard, it's not that involved. Yung iba kasi kailangan pa nilang tingnan yung soil mix, no? Ako, tamad na ako dyan eh. Parang basta naiisip ko, basta yung natural processes, basta may compost ako, okay na yun sa akin. So I think that's the way to encourage people to say that it's not that hard, and you never make a mistake because that's the way life is, no? It's may growth, may death, may mag-succeed na seed, may seed na mag-fail. Hindi ka masyadong natetense na ay namatay kasi mabubuhay naman yung iba, no? So it's a learning opportunity pa kung bakit namatay. Siguro matigas masyado yung soil ko, or siguro so let's try another way. It's a relaxed way of dealing with nature, and kahit na siguro sisimangutan ako ng mga plantito talaga at plantita talaga, pero mas marami sa atin ang matututo pag ganun lang level eh, no? Hindi lahat tayo magle-level na masyado mataas. Ano pa yung tanong?
Hindi natin kakaririn.
Yes, basta enjoy ka lang, no? Relax lang, chill.
Ano pa nga yung isang tanong? Yung saan makukuha yung... ano yung isang tanong? Saan makukuha yung... Ano na yung Carla?
May binibilan ako ng seeds dito sa Cubao, 20th Avenue. Kaya lang, kasi yun yung malapit sa akin. Pero you really test which of their seeds succeed. Ano tawag doon? Which of their seeds sprout. Kasi hindi naman... Oo, kasi meron daw recalcitrant, merong... may ganun pa silang classification eh. Tapos yung iba, hindi mo pala pwede itago ng matagal. Yung iba naman, pwede hanggang 30 years. So, you choose the plants na malamig sa kamay mo. Kung nasubukan mo na yan, tumutubo lagi, yun na lang ang bibilin mo. So cilantro, there are lots of seeds in the market, but I've never succeeded with cilantro seeds in the supermarket. So masela ng cilantro, I've given up. I just buy from Session Groceries. Kasi ang hahaba ng cilantro nila, bagay na bagay sa salsa. So, let's also support the farmers who grow it well because they've given themselves the capacity to do it well. So, not all of us will be that good.
Yeah, so nasagot na ba lahat?
There's
Carlo,
another one. Marie, there's another one.
Okay.
What can I plant to keep cats away from the vegetable plots?
Naku, ang isa-suggest ko na lang dyan sa lahat ng may tanong pa, sumali kayo dun sa Facebook group na Manila Grows Food. They're very helpful there and mukhang ang nagwo-work sa cats ay yung tutusukan mo ng mga nakakatusok or nakakatinik yung paligid ng iyong seedling. Other than that, yung sinasabi nilang these kinds of plants keep cats away, parang hindi successful yon. Well, my other problem here is frogs and the same thing works. Which you see also in Venice, yung nandun sa mga simbahan para walang kalapate dun sa ledges. Tutusukan mo lang ng tutusukan ng barbecue stick para matusok lang sila at hindi lumapit.
Eh, yung mga ibon.
I
yung
share.
sili namin, inubos ng ibon.
Pag ibon, I share. They usually attack half my sili. So thank you. Baka kailangan nyo for your health. I think it's medicinal eh. Baka may sakit sila. You're very welcome to my sili. Ganun lang kasi sila rin naman ang nagsusow nung sili. So thank you. You have to share with the wild.
Hi.
Hi,
Ipat. Let me share. I put it in the chat box. I think you can open it. My farm in quotes in my condo. So you might want to see if you can open it. So I don't have a yard. So I only have my kitchen shelves. So I nurture my farm plants in my kitchen, which doesn't have direct sun. Okay, so I have plant. I have talinum. Ipat. I will ask for some cuttings because malakas akong kumain ng talinum na uubos lang lahat yung kanyang leaves. Ang hindi ako magaling mag-nurture ay basil dahil namamatay siya. So you might want to open it. It's in the chat box, no?
Yes.
My story on my farm.
I encourage everybody to do so. I've seen this before. Cora and I have been trading notes.
Okay.
Oh, that's helpful. Yes. That's
kahit
good.
kondo,
Yes.
yun yung kailangan malaman ng mga tao. Kahit kondo
Yun
lang,
nga eh.
hahanap ka lang ng hiyang sayo na halaman. Kung hiyang sayo, kaya mo magpadami. Tapos trade na lang kayo ng kapitbahay kung anong hiyang sa kanya.
And even in a small space, di ba? Kasi pwedeng several stories, di ba? Nakita ko yun eh.
Yes, oo. Cabinet, no?
So, walang excuse.
Ay, Marie Chen is coming in a
Yes.
while. Chen is coming in
Oh,
a
that's
while.
nice.
Yes, here na po.
Okay. So, are we done with the questions for Ipat?
Both Chen and Carol are here. Both.
Oh, nice. Now?
Yeah. Pumasok
great.
na yata.
So we can move.
Carol here. Let me see.
So we're going to start with Chen.
Yeah.
Carlo, do the honors.
Excuse me. I'm sorry. I did not. I failed to make my presentation, so I'm not making my presentation now. I'm just joining the conversation because I thought that this webinar gathering is going to be on Monday, so I've not prepared my slide. So, but Carol,
It's okay.
medyo nagkaroon lang siya ng medical emergency and she's supposed to be coming in now. Are you there, Carol? So I can see where she is. Si Carol kasi something also about their permaculture project in La Union. I was just talking to her.
So, is it Carol who will talk?
Yes, it's Carol, not me.
I
Kasi nga,
thought we were gonna.
got the wrong information. I thought it was going to be Monday, so I'm just going to join the conversation. I was going to talk supposedly about my experience with our urban garden. So sorry about that. Sorry about the confusion.
No, it's okay. You can
So you
still
can
do
still
it
do that.
without a PowerPoint. You can just make kwento. Kwentuhan na lang tayo, di ba?
Oh yeah, pwede
You
naman.
can
Lang, habang
you can
waiting,
share with us your
waiting.
experiences.
Yes. So I'm sorry I cannot show you any photos. But anyway, I live in Taytay Rizal. We used to live in Provident Village. So while waiting for Carol, ha?
Yes, go ahead.
We used to live in Provident Village. Na-ondoy po kami doon. As you know, na-Ulysses na naman sila. So, but we're out of there. So we now live in the highlands of Taytay Rizal. So we have a good view of Bonifacio and Shaw Boulevard and all that, no, and even some parts of Pasig. So we decided to purchase two lots in across our house, and it was really bad soil kasi tambak lang yan from the construction sites ng mga bahay na tinayo dito. So we decided na what are we going to do with this? We were not building a house yet. So we turned it into a garden, an urban garden. And we're so happy about it kasi now that it's pandemic, we have at least a very pleasant place where we can just cross the street and we have some greenery. And then my apo also plays there. It's actually his playground. So we're not just planting vegetables, we're also planting flowers. I love flowers and native trees. We also have fruit-bearing trees like langka. We have bananas. We have things like that. What I wanted is just to have one of each. Parang collection ko. May atis kami, may dalawang puno, naka-harvest kami, may duhat, those stuff. It's a small, well, actually, bangin pa yung kalahati. So ang natatamnan lang namin is practically half of the two lots. And home base kami ng husband ko even before the pandemic. So sanay kami nandito lang sa bahay. But I actually got somebody to help me out because it's really time consuming then. So I just spend my time in the garden whenever I just want to relax and just stress out. But you really also need somebody who will really take care of it with more time kasi it's really time consuming. It needs a lot of love. And lalo na pag nagbagyo, I mean, there's some distraction somehow kasi nasa mataas po kaming lugar. So, let me check if Carol is here. Next time na lang, I'll show you some photos of the transformation of our garden. Kasi talaga...
Just keep going. Oh, by the way, Chen,
yes.
You should be introduced.
In what? I'm sorry.
Chen, you're giving us you should be introduced to the to the participants. Carlo, will you do the honors, please?
Okay, sige po.
Okay.
Yes.
Miss Chen is an environmental planner who specializes on sustainable tourism, planning, and ecotourism enterprise development. She is a retired scuba diving instructor who is now focused on providing technical assistance to local governments, NGOs, national government agencies, and the private sector on tourism planning. She is also a writer who recently co-authored an international best-selling book entitled Unstoppable. She's Miss Chen.
Wow.
Chen Menches.
Yeah,
Okay, Chen, that's very interesting. Unstoppable. I like that title.
I just co-authored that.
So, yes, you're sharing your experiences with us.
So anyway, wala pa si Carol. So what I'll do na lang, okay, just to jumpstart the presentation, kasi I'll know naman if she comes in. Let me know. I have a PowerPoint, the PDF file of her presentation. I'll just baka I can start then kasi I've been several times to farm nila. So I know what.
No, it's okay. You know, draw from your own experience kasi ang dami mong experience. You're a writer pa. Think of what you can share with people who want to plant. What kind of tips do you want to give them?
Kasi
You want to start?
I don't claim to be an expert on gardening, although what I did was to enroll in a course on parang organic farming in Bacolod. I had a talk in Bacolod one time, and then I realized that there was going to be a training also by was it 26 herbs? Hindi ko nakakalimutan ko lagi yung number, but that's the name of the restaurant. It also has an urban garden just at the back of the restaurant. And so I signed up. After the talk, I extended. It was like a 2-day training, and it provided me with some insights, basic knowledge, about the soil, about what plants go together, kasi may incompatibility then, and then the wisdom of using compost and organic fertilizers, stuff like that, and what kind of insects are beneficial. And it was really an eye opener for me kasi although may alam naman ako sa environment, and Dr. G is my mentor pagdating sa environment because I took up my master's in Miriam College. Marami pa rin ako natutunan kasi there's always new things to learn. And it was also my intention to further my knowledge about farming, because in my line of work, as I'm a tourism planner, farm tourism sites are now becoming common in many destinations. So I needed also to have a little bit of knowledge about that and how you turn a farm into a magnet for visitors, because it's added income for them. So maraming mga income streams kasi ang mga farms. It's now becoming a major factor. And so to help farmers increase their income stream and their revenue, I needed to have that knowledge how they could possibly, let's say, create more food preserves from their products, from their crops, and also integrate a little bit of knowledge on the hospitality business and how do you merge the two. Sa amin naman kasi, nakakatawa sa amin, naging attraction siya dito sa aming subdivision. Kasi nang dumadaan na kotse, nakikita yung mga halaman namin, nakikita yung vegetables, nakikita yung mulberries na mumunga. So before the pandemic, they would stop and they would inquire if we were selling plants. And I said, no, we don't. We actually just give them away. Mga seeds ng ternate namin, whatever we have, we would give them away. And tuwan-tuwa naman sila. And nung namunga yung mulberries namin, I would collect every day with my apo, and we would make them into jams. I would post. And then they would see namumulaklak, ang dami-daming and sometimes they would also want to do pickings. And so that's what we did. I realized that even a small garden can actually attract people. And I thought if it's even a farm, all the more, lalo na kung pinag-aralan talaga. And so segue po ito sa talk ni Carol kasi she co-owns the farm with my sister, who gave up living in the urban area to embrace a rural lifestyle. Kasi she's just very strong passion about healthful living and regenerative living, yung ganong lifestyle. And so they bought this property in La Union. It's even a small property, less than 1 hectare, beside a creek. So they have a source of water. And what they did was to showcase different success or best practices in farming. Small scale, pero so yun sana yung ma-highlight ni Carol if she is still, wala pa rin yata siya. As she come in already, hindi pa siya nag-ano sa akin, nagko-confirm sa akin. So we would go there every now and then. Every time we would go there, I learn something new na apply ko dito sa garden ko. Although iba talaga yung permaculture farm kasi pinag-iisipan talaga yung location ng mga, where do you put your chickens, where do you put your different vegetables, and what kind of vegetables you grow every season to help the soil regenerate. So na-realize ko malalim yung konsepto nila. And so before the pandemic, they were already thinking of conducting trainings kasi ang dami nang pumapasok din ng mga taga Baguio kasi on the way to Baguio. And hindi sinasadya, naging tourist site din sila because
Jan,
Yes, ma'am.
yeah,
Yes.
do you know of any online trainings that our participants can join
Ano po,
to
si
help
Carol,
them create their own
oo.
gardens at home?
Si Carol
Ha?
kasi talking to her
Meron
about,
ba?
sabi ko nga, she puts together some training kasi before the pandemic, they were thinking of conducting permaculture training, small-scale permaculture training for
Oh,
mga.
that would be nice.
Kaya lang, ang problema nag-pandemic, kasi nag-establish na sila doon ng parang small accommodation facility where you can actually sleep there overnight. Tapos meron na silang training area. Kaya lang nag-pandemic. So, she's now based in Baguio because of her sister na may health problem. So, sabi ko, kasi walang signal sa farm, yan ang problema eh. Wala silang signal. I would have wanted my sister to talk about it. So, since sa Baguio siya, I asked her, I told Dr. G, ikaw na lang magsalita about your farm kasi nasa Baguio ka, may signal ka. Nagkataon naman nga, ang akala niya Monday din yung talk. Pero ngayon
No, but
hinihintay ko lang siyang pumasok.
I was really interested. No, it's okay. I was really interested in our participants getting some tips on where they can find more information. Baka may links, like si Ipat kanina may binigay na Facebook page, mga ganun ba? Because this will be helpful. So, kung meron kang alam, baka,
project, Pita Project. So you can search that sa FB. Meron din silang website, pitacproject.wordpress.com yan.
Okay. Pita Project.
Oo.
Mm-hmm.
So,
okay. So I go back to...
Sige po.
So I was going to say I go back to, since we can't have Carol, but is Libay there? Libay, are you there? Kasi alam ko tong si Libay, ang daming tinatanim nito eh.
I can share
pwede siya sa bahay.
I can share na yung kasi I have a copy of presentation ni Carol. I can start sharing it. So at least my picture.
Okay.
And with my little knowledge of permaculture.
Okay.
Pardon me hindi ako expert on permaculture. But let's talk about the photos that I will share. Hanggang sana makapasok siya. Okay, so this is the PDF file ito kasi wala yung PowerPoint ko. PDF niya pinadala sa
okay.
back up lang. Anyway, the permaculture farm really rests on deep principle kasi hindi lang siya basta farm, no? And so what they did towards their journey is to educate them first. Si Carol took a training in Thailand on permaculture kasi hindi siya ganun kasimple, no? So meron ho siyang training on permaculture. They established the farm and they established the school. Yun lang kasi hindi na umpisahan yung school because of the pandemic. And what they wanted is to make sure that almost all the plants that they put in the farm would be edible, or at least produce some fruits or seeds that they can preserve para for future planting. Yung tawag po nila doon is Pita Project. Pita came from the word mud, no? Kasi pumunta talaga sila doon, it's just muddy. Dati kasi lang yan dati lang po yun, taniman ng bigas, ng palay. So walang ibang tinanim doon. So for that reason, hindi maganda yung lupa. They needed to regenerate the soil to be able to plant productively. So they started the project in March 2013. That's the time my sister gave up urban living and then worked the farm. That's the farm right there. Okay. So yun yung hinuhukay nila. Mano-mano. Wala silang mga farm implements. So nasa Barangay Pideg po siya sa Tubao, La Union. So when you go up to Baguio, nadadaanan yan. It's only 8,311 square meters. So that's the property right there. Meron silang malapit na ilog. Ito yung kali. The ilog is down there. So it's all about practicing and promoting regenerative living and yung farm nila through permaculture. And permaculture is about care of the earth, care of the people, and fair share and sharing of surplus. So sa kanila po, kilala na sila ng mga kapitbahay nila kasi nung una pinagtatawanan sila Kasi yung mga ini-introduce nila ng mga style of planting, hindi alam ng mga farmers. So sinasabi na you are going to fail. Hindi yan magsasucceed. But though nakaka-produce na sila ng madami, kasi sa permaculture po may sharing scheme yan eh. Ibig sabihin, whatever surplus that you have, you don't hoard. You share with the rest of the community. So they would always give food to their neighbors sa barangay nila. So that's their farm. Nagtanim sila ng palay. That's their farm.
Wow.
And then after nung palay, magtatanim ng mani, legumes, para maging rich yung soil, magkaroon ng nitrogen and other nutrients dyan sa soil. So meron silang seasonality in terms of what they plant. Kasi pinag-aralan talaga nila what will be good for the soil to regenerate the soil. So meron din silang mga puno, nagtanim sila mga puno. Marami mga bamboos. So hindi nila tinanggal yung bamboos kasi nagre-retain yan ng water. Slope pati, it's slope erosion control. So nagtanim sila, lahat ng tinatanim po nila native trees plus nagpo-produce ng fruits and food for them. Tanim sila ng gulay, and then one time nabalitaan sila na kaka-post nila sa internet, nabalitaan sila ng isang show, TV Patrol, not because of the farm but because of their composting toilet. Nakikita ng TV Patrol na feature sila na may composting toilet sila. At that time kasi bagong concept pa lang yan. And then, naano na rin sila, the feature na rin sa isang show, I can't remember which one. So, naggulat na lang sila one day, meron ng kumakatok sa pintuan nila, nagtatanong, saan ba dito yung Pita Project? We wanted to see the farm. So, these are all their produce, their vegetables. So, may mga bisita, tuwang-tuwa, nagvo-volunteer silang magtanim, mag-harvest, and then they pay for the food that they harvest. So, these are the components of the site. Ito yung garden site nila. Meron silang elevated composting bin. This is their composting bin. Okay, tapos they have napag-aralan din nila yung direction ng sun, saan galing ang wind kasi may mga ganun eh, may science din pala siya behind it para yung location ng mga functional areas are well located. So meron din silang site development, may zoning, meron mga ganyang konsepto. So hindi ko na kayang mag-gets yan kasi masyadong detailed na for me. Pero ang dami nilang...
Jen, nandito na po si Miss Carol.
Andiyan na, Carol. Andiyan ka na. I will stop sharing, Carol. You share your slide. Nandito na ako sa garden component. If you can continue, I'll stop sharing. Okay. Okay ka na, Carol? Where are you? Yan, Carol.
Hello, Carol.
Share yung slide mo. Carol is
there. Carol?
Hi, am I in?
Yes, you are.
Carol.
But I have a different slide. I adjusted it. But can you be the one to share it na lang? And then I will just go through it.
It's the same
Okay.
Mas mahaba ito, Carol. Baka walang oras.
Hindi kasi anong slide ka na?
Garden component. Okay lang yun kahit iba yung sa'yo kasi mas mahaba ito eh. We just continue. Okay.
Pero okay lang. Okay lang?
Okay lang. Okay lang.
Okay lang?
Papahaba pag-isa. Go ahead. Introduce Carol muna. Na-introduce ko si Carol.
Oo.
Yes. Yes, let me introduce you first, no? Wait. I can't, I'm not on. Wait.
I hear you.
Okay, you can hear me. That's fine. Yes. So Carol is a certified Carol Galvez, no? Carol C. Galvez is a certified permaculturist and educator. She has been involved in several advocacies in protecting the natural environment, upholding indigenous people's rights to land and resources, women's rights, and promoting and preserving indigenous traditional knowledge through workshops on food security and sustainable alternative livelihood for the marginalized sectors among others. Ang dami nun, ha? In 2013, she started a permaculture community in La Union called the Pita Project that showcases sustainable and regenerative living practices. Since the establishment of the project, she has been invited by national and regional government agencies and private institutions and groups to share stories of resilience and regenerative practices. Okay, welcome, Carol.
Welcome. Please bear with me because this is my there's a first time for everything.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm Carol. I've been introduced. Let's go directly to my presentation. The Pita Project is all about our endeavor in practicing and promoting regenerative living through permaculture. The basic ethics are care for the earth, care for the people, fair share, and sharing of surplus. Ibabalik po sa tao at sa earth ang surplus. Ang pitak ay ang Ilocano term for putik or mud. It symbolizes the bond of the rich soil and water that gives life. We started the project in March 2013 and we steward less than a hectare of land in Pidagtubao, La Union. Since then, our farming practice has evolved to include agroforestry, natural farming, Jadam, people are nature, ultra low-cost farming, indigenous knowledge practices, regenerative agriculture, and holistic management applied to our context. Nag-evolve po kami from permaculture to other agricultural practices. And you will find out why. So, first, actually, lessons of regenerative living ang amin pong i-share. So, let us define it first. Regenerative living is life flourishing. This is in contrast to the degenerative systems that deplete the life of the planet on a global scale, which is evident in the current human-led processes. Alam na natin, capitalism is the most prevalent economic system on the planet, which measures wealth with money and financial capital at the expense of the living capital. When I say living capital, it's the natural capital. Sa farm, ang mantra namin, as you can see, is build, build, build. Build, build, build healthy soil. That is our wealth.
Yep.
We measure our wealth by how far we've regenerated the soil and how much capital we invest back to nurture the land. We can say that that is the essence of regenerative agriculture. When soil erodes away, biodiversity plummets and ecosystems reel from the shocks of species loss, fragmentation, and climate change. So, in regenerative living, one of the major goals is to regenerate the soil because it supplies humans and other species what we require to survive. Kaya yan po ang aming mga species. Si Sayon, human yan, human. Next, let's define regenerative systems. So, regenerative systems are consciously designed. Katulad na nga ng nasabi kanina, I studied permaculture kasi yun yung nakita namin na parang nag-offer sa amin ng knowledge and tools para ma-approach yung pagde-develop namin ng farm. But as we grow, we find other agricultural systems that complements permaculture. So maraming factors, ano? Ayan na, location, accessibility, tapos yung sun orientation, tapos sa site design, maraming aspects, zoning, the fence, the beds, etc. Siyempre, the resources, the capital you put in it, the human resources, financial capital, etc. From site assessment, designing to implementation, matagal actually, matagal. Hindi siya madali, ano? But sa experience namin, patience is a virtue. Tapos, ang isang lesson namin was, you really have to observe the land sa isang buong panahon. Kumbaga all the seasons, ano? Para sa wet, sa dry, para makita mo yung paano ka mag i-intervene, if we can call it that. So, ganon. So, ito, yan, nakikita naman natin dun sa photos na yan ang ginagawa talaga namin. We build soil. This is the one you see is a raised bed to your right. That's a raised bed, ano? Tapos dito yung kitchen garden namin. Tapos yung raised beds din namin. As you can see, everything is mulch. Hindi siya bare, ano? Hindi bare ang land. So, yun yung unang characteristic ng regenerative system, ano? Ang next, regenerative systems actively build life, complexity, and diversity. Yung pictures dito sa nakikita ninyo, ano yan? Compost, hugel culture, yung nasa gitna. Tapos yung nandun sa kaliwa, that is our very young food forest. Kumbaga established lang yan last year. When all the bamboo died, there is that pala na at a certain point, 75 to 100 years, bamboos die when they start to flower. So when the bamboos died, we harvested them and we transformed that part of the land into a food forest. So, yun, ano, it actively builds life, complexity, and diversity. Pero ang lahat ng yan, ang susi kasi, is a rich soil. Ito pa, yung makikita natin dito, yung picture na rice fields, hindi na po yan yung 1/3 ng property. We've stopped planting rice. Even if we practice the system of rice intensification or the sipagpalay, it was a decision last year kasi we don't grow enough for the whole year. Tapos, even the system of rice intensification is monocropping, as we have noticed. So, we've decided to grow a forest market garden instead, which we are designing at the moment. It would yield more income, and it would be better for the parcel of that land, which is 1/3 of the property. It will be more diverse, more complex, and it will have more life. Kaya, tsaka ang hirap ding magtanim ng palay, sa totoo lang. Next, ito, yung sinasabi natin, ano, builds diverse, complex, build soil. Yan po yung aming annual and biennial plans. Tapos, we also have our perennial plants, and this shows some of the fruits of our diverse forest garden. Marami yan. Hindi ka magugutom. Pag may perennial plants ka, hindi ka magugutom. Unlike annual, tatanim mo, harvest mo, tanim, harvest. Ang perennial plants, yun yung aming minumultiply sa aming farm. Okay, if the next property of regenerative systems is, pupunta na pala tayo sa properties, ano? Extraction versus cultivation ang first. Just to share it with you, extraction as the removal of capital from a system in the way that diminishes its overall health, function, or resilience. Pag extraction ang iniisip mo, ang tatanong mo, how much can we get out of this landscape? What can we take from these people or this place to make financial profit? Ang pinakamagandang example niyan is the mining of soils, known as agriculture. Millions of tons of soil are inexorably lost every year through tillage, biology-destroying chemical fertilizers, and the resulting rapid erosion. Sabi nga ni Dr. David Pimentel of Cornell University, he estimates that some farms lose more than 250 tons of soil per acre per year, destroying their ability to produce food. It further says, and I quote, as a result of erosion over the past 40 years, 30% of the world's arable land has become unproductive. On the other hand, pag sinabi naman natin cultivation, it is as the addition to and removal of capital from a system in a way that develops and evolves its health, function, and resilience. So what are we cultivating in our interaction with the landscape? Yun ang itatanong mo kung gusto mong mag-cultivate. How can our connection from grow, how can our connection with the system we are harvesting from grow the integrity, resilience, and long-term viability of these people and this place? Yun naman ang itatanong mo sa regenerative cultivation. Pag in-apply yan sa agriculture, ang sinasabi lang yan, when you apply it to agriculture, a productive revolution ensues. Agricultural systems like permaculture, holistic management, agroecology, natural farming by Master Cho and his son, who developed the Jedam ultra-low-cost farming. They are both Koreans. They all demonstrate that agriculture can actually grow soil instead of depleting it. Ang next naman po sa property ay, pakita ko muna to. Sa farm, hindi lang soil ang binibuild namin, ano? We also designed water. Actually, we harvest water. We build soil, we harvest water. That is an essential component of design. Yung sa pictures, sa right, makita nyo yung banga, Pinoy banga. We made that ourselves, ano? Parang we were inspired by the Thailand banga, Thailand jars. So we research, meron pala sa Pilipinas. So we built that ourselves to store the water from our solar-powered deep well pump. Meron po kaming solar-powered deep well pump. Tapos we also catch water from our roofs. It's the middle picture. We store them in IBCs, International Boat Containers, para hindi na waste yung rainwater. Tapos you will know when it's the rainy season that there's water stored under the ground kasi springs, they swell. They swell kung saan-saan, ano, in the property. So, yun ang point dito. We also harvest water. We build soil, we harvest water. So, this is building soil. Siguro magandang i-share dito na when you grow soil and you plant, mulching is a win-win situation. Kasi nag-grow ka na ng soil, nagsisave ka pa ng water. So hindi directly nakatapat ang araw sa bare soil. Okay, let's go na to the next property of regenerative systems. Let's go to edges and connections. Rather than increasing the quantity, amount, or volume of a certain form of capital, sa capitalism, profit, financial capital, regenerative systems develop the quality, complexity, or connectivity of capital. Ang ibig lang sabihin niyan, yung current extractive economy natin requires ever-increasing quantities of capital. That is cancer, like exponential growth. Gusto nila, pataas lang ng pataas. For example, the infinite growth of financial capital required by today's global economy requires an ever-increasing manufacture and consumption of material capital products like cancer. The current economy is extracting unsustainable amounts from nature to maintain its exponential growth. Unless the system can be transformed, this will likely lead to overall collapse. The second point, infinite growth of quantities of capital is not the goal. Hindi katulad ng goal ng capitalism, profit. Instead, regenerative cultivation develops the quality, the richness, and the connectivity of different forms of capital. The financial capital, the living capital, material capital, because there are 8 forms of capital. Maybe that's for another talk. Picture the difference between the dull uniformity of a mass-produced dish set compared sa isang banga na hand-blown na ikaw ang gumawa. Yung regenerative cultivation develops the quality. Hindi siya mass-produce. Yun ang gusto niyang sabihin. Hindi ka na-alienate sa products mo. It does not disconnect us from the place. The next point is, in practical terms, one way to increase the number of connections between elements is to increase the amount of the edge of the surface area in the system. Sa permaculture, ini-insist ito parate. That is one principle. In living ecosystems, the edges between different habitats are rich in biological diversity. Pansinin natin yon. The blending availability of resources from each habitat creates a situation where more species can live and interact than in either of the two adjoining habitats. Example, well known, alam ni Chanto, beautiful diversity and richness of the edge of coral reefs. They form the edge between land and sea, anchored to firm bedrock, where the agitated tropical water constantly moves. They exhibit within themselves an incredible amount of edge, and it is home to a myriad of creatures. In regenerative systems, we harness the edge. We create edges. Ito po yung isang rainwater harvesting system namin. Everywhere, after you analyze the landscape, you get the slopes, etc., you look for places where you can harvest the water. This picture here is the day it was raining so hard, it was easier to dig. So we did it in 2 hours. This is the edge between the where we built the school and then the kitchen garden. Ngayon, wala lang akong picture, forest na yan, yung swale na yan. So ito ang description ng description ng swale. So you follow the contour, that is very important. You lay it out, tapos yung water magpe-percolate siya. So yung water nagsusoak siya. So hindi siya nawawala, hindi siya bumababa, hindi niya kasama ang topsoil. So it stays. At the farm, we catch, slow, sink wherever necessary. Hindi po namin pinapa-escape ang tubig ulan, lalo na we want them there. We want them to sink in the property. The edges created by water harvesting systems become microclimates at a fast pace. Ito po yung kami din ang gumawa nung gray water recycling system. So lahat po from the kitchen, the outdoor sink, the baking area, it all goes to our gray water recycling system. Itong dalawang picture sa kaliwa ko, the left and the top. Yung baba, yan na ang itsura niya ngayon. Yung green, mag-green na yan. Yan na yung itsura ng gray water recycling system natin. We built this when we built the Bahay Kubo in 2013. Ganyan na ang itsura niya ngayon. yung site na yan. Microclimate na siya. Dito naman sa isang picture, yung to my right, yan yung pond. So everywhere we can, we build ponds. We build swales, we build ponds. Pond 1, pond 2, pond 3, swale 1, swale 2, swale 3. So water stays. The next property of regenerative systems is harvesting the surplus versus stealing the poor. The extractive economy forcibly steals from nature, reducing the ability of the system to maintain itself, much less produce a surplus. We extract from nature as if it were infinite, but it is not. The extractive economy forcibly steals and does not give back. That is the first point. The second, by cultivating capital instead of extracting it, growing the edges of a system and increasing its internal and external connectivity, enterprises can proactively develop greater surplus for harvest and exchange. Ibig lang sabihin yan, pag nag-cultivate ka ng capital, nag-invest ka sa nature, you invest in regenerative systems, we harvest the surplus for exchange, then part of the financial capital gains are reinvested back on the land. You do not steal. You give it back to you reinvest in nature. Kumbaga. Third, by harvesting the surplus natural capital developed by regenerative management, we create true wealth and avoid the extractive processes that dominate today's world. We call this regenerative enterprise. That's for another topic siguro, no? It is a venture that proactively grows and cultivates the living or natural capital by providing goods and services in a way that creates net positive gains for the system as a whole. When I say whole, it is us, the humans, and nature. Kumbaga, versus stealing the core like the present economic system does. So, to explain that, yan po ang aming biofertilizers. So, to apply yan, we make our own biofertilizers. We make sure we return to the soil the nutrients we take from them. So, marami namang paraan yan eh. So, maybe ang pinakamagandang experience ko last year bago mag-lockdown was I was able to attend the seminar of Master Cho and his son, and they taught the ultra low cost farming through Jadam. Jadam means I am nature. So kami po lahat ang gumagawa ng aming fertilizers. Next, siguro just to give the best example I can give sa harvesting the surplus, ito po yon. Yung aming waterless composting toilet. Nung simula, hindi kami sanay. Pero nasanay na rin po kami kasi imagine all the water wasted sa flushing. Bakit po ang tayo ng kalabaw, ng cow, hinaharvest natin, ng manok, hinaharvest natin, ng kambing, hinaharvest natin, ginagawa nating fertilizer. Bakit hindi ang human manure? So, that's it. Yun nang masasanay din kayo. Ang pinang-flash lang po namin ay ipa at saka konting baking powder para mawalang amoy. Tapos, after a year, we harvest it. Meron po yung system. There is this system paano siya gawin. Meron yung mga small scale, meron yung mga big scale, yung pwedeng bucket lang, tapos tatapon mo na, meron ka lang further composting area. So, ito malaking bagay talaga ito in saving water. Tapos, you bring it back to the land. So, sa trees naman po namin siya ginagamit. Hindi doon sa petchay o sa lettuce para hindi kayo maiki. So, why do we do this? Kasi, obviously, sa aming experience, Environmental protection, it promotes biodiversity, climate change mitigation and adaptation. We are resilient during disasters. We have financial and also during financial and economic crisis. Nung lockdown, may tanim ka, may pagkain ka. Self-reliance, food security, healthy food production, you have healthy soil, you have healthy food. Community empowerment, a sense of community. Tapos yung involvement of children in food production, nakakapagturo kami. Tapos meron kaming income streams na nakukuha mula dito. We harvest and then we process the products, we make soap, we make turmeric powder, we dry leaves, lagundi, etc., etc. Everything we use in our soap, we get from the garden except the oil and the lye. So, that's why we do it. Maraming benefits. But every day we remind ourselves, ano? Ito yung aming daily goal. When you decide to do something, ito dapat ang, iniisip mo, ito dapat ang outcome. Una, it should stop the flow of nutrient and energy of the site and turn them into cycles. Dapat donut yan. Diversity leads to greater resilience. Small-scale intensive systems are more efficient and the thorough use of the land makes it under control. You use plants and animals to save energy to do the work of the garden. Accelerating succession and evolution through following natural patterns and assisting life forces, we can rapidly turn barren areas into lush and productive systems. Napatunayan na po namin yan in many microclimates in the farm. Dagdag pa, it is the number of beneficial connections between the components that leads to stability, katulad ng kinocontribute ng edge. Each element in the system should be chosen and placed so that it performs as many functions as possible. Sa permaculture, dapat pag meron kang inisip, may ginawa kang isang bagay, gumawa ko ng pond, pag ang function lang niyan ay para sa isda, that is not permaculture. It should have at least 4 functions. Lahat ng ginagawa mo. So pag nag-design ka, at least it has 4 functions, ang maximum niya 8. So gumawa ako ng isang cabinet, ano ang function niya? Or gumawa ako ng isang bed, ano ang function niya? So dapat iniisip mo parati yun. Work with nature rather than against the natural forces, pressures, processes, agencies, and evolution so that we assist rather than impede natural developments. It works with how you treat the land and the people. Cooperation, not competition, is the very basis of existing life, systems, and future survival. Grow food where people live. Bring food production back to the city. Ito, totoo din to. Di kasi kami magsasaka, sumabak kami. Sabi nung nagtatanim kami ng palay, sabi ng mga kapitbahay namin, anong ginagawa ninyo? Hindi naman kayo marunong. Pero nung nakita nila yung produkto ng pag-apply namin ng system of rice intensification, sabi nila, ay pwede pala. Jack kita, jack pati. Ganun kasi yung mga magsasaka. Hindi ko nakikita, hindi ako maniniwala. So nung nakita nila, marami kaming na-impluensya to also practice system of rice intensification. Don't tell people what to do, demonstrate, and they will follow. Siguro last word na lang, ano? My point here is we have a choice. If we have a choice, we have to choose to regenerate our planet. Let us stop destroying our ecosystems. Let us build soil and design with intent to grow food regeneratively. Let us restore our ecosystems and help build a fairer, more just, and equitable world for the future generations to come. I am telling you, it is possible. It is. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Carol. Thank you to Ms. Chen as well. We will now proceed to the open forum. And before we begin, let me just remind you of the following. If you want to ask a question, you may raise your hand literally or use the raise hand button. You may also call our attention through the chat box. Before you ask your question, introduce yourself and your organizational affiliation. Tell us also who you would like to answer your question. And then we will first listen to all the questions. After that, we will read the questions on the chat box and then request our speakers to answer. Miss Chen, you can also join the conversation during the open forum, and the attorney Ipat as well. Okay, so who would like to begin? Anyone who would like to start uh, asking his or her question?
Tessa po, excuse me, is raising her
Okay,
hand. Thank you, sir.
Miss Tessa.
Yeah. Hello. Good afternoon. I'm Tessa Oliva of Green Convergence. I'd like to thank our speakers. No, the topic is really very interesting. Um, Talagang from what you can do in your own house and what you can do for the earth. So ang galing talaga, no? But ang aking question actually is very very simple. Kasi I grew up in the city and I'm not aware of yung using kamote leaves for ano and yung mga whatever we see as weeds um for our food, no? So I was wondering, is it possible to have a recipe using all the things that you can harvest from your home, a recipe that you can easily cook using all the ingredients that you can harvest in your home? Yun yung aking siguro, para kay Ipat siguro yung question na yon. Okay, so that's one question.
Ipat is no longer in the meeting room.
Okay.
Carol or Miss Chen can answer that question later.
Yes.
Let's listen to other questions before we ask our speakers to address these questions. Anyone?
May I, Carlo?
Yes, please.
Nina Galang from Green Convergence. You said, Carol, that you started with pitak, which was mud. Literally ba yon or just a part of the property? And how did you turn the mud into productive soil? I just want to visualize it like step by step. Exactly how did you do it? No, from a from was it just a muddy place, and then how did you convert it to really agricultural soil that yielded so much in abundance?
Okay.
And then just anyway, wala pang nagre-raise ng hand. When you say we, was it your family? What was your manpower in starting this farm? Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else? There are questions in the chat box. If you will allow me, I'll read them. What are the factors that makes this urban farming or gardening attractive to people? Do you think these attractions will have a place in a city? Example, a community garden. Okay, I'm still checking the chat box if there are still questions. So far, we have three questions. Can I pass on the mic to our speakers so that they can already address these questions?
Excuse me, Sir Carlos, si Miss Libay is raising her hand po.
Okay, Libay. Libay, can we hear your question?
Hello?
Yes, Libay, we can hear you.
Hello? Hello? Marinig
Yes,
ba?
yes, yes.
Ba?
Libay, go ahead.
It's on the mountain of Benguet.
Okay.
Wala akong actually question. Actually, wala naman po lahat yung presentation. Ang sa months. Meron
can't hear you well, Levi.
Nawawala ka, Libay.
Levi,
garden
yes, you have a
na
connectivity.
ready for tour sa space ng isang bahay.
Levi, can you repeat your sharing if it's
Hello?
from the
Hello?
beginning? Sorry for that. Yes, we can't hear you well. Levi? Or if it's a sharing, would you like to just type it in the chat box? Okay, let me read this one from Miss Vanessa Saplahio. In a world of plantitos and plantitas in an urban setting, given that the space is limited, what are your suggestions with regard to the proper care and maintenance of interior plants and green wall or vertical gardens? Okay, are there other questions? Because if there's none, we will now ask our speakers to answer your questions.
Sino mauuna?
Okay, you can now start. Well, Miss Ken or Miss Carol.
Kay Carol, how did
Okay.
you regenerate the soil? Carol, can you answer that first? Mamaya na ako.
Okay, yung tanong po ni Ma'am Galang. Yung pong tanong ni Ma'am Galang.
About the
Yes.
soil. Tsaka yung manpower mo, paano nyo na nagawa yun at start yung farm?
Okay. We chose the name Pita kasi nasa Northern Luzon kami. So, Ilocano. Vernacular. Pitak, putik. Dahil, yun nga, nasabi ko, hindi naman ganon yung, actually, when we started the farm, mayaman na yung lupa. Mayaman kasi it was a bamboo forest. Tapos, diverse na rin yung trees. So, actually, yung pitak din arose dahil we are also natural builders. We build from mud. We have a mud house. We have a mud oven.
Wow.
So we also kasi are natural builders. So when we build something, we use what is available in the site. So we have a baikubo, bamboo. We have a mud house. We have a cob ovens. We have stove cob. So ganun po. Why we also chose the name Pitak. Kasi yun yung gusto naming gawin, to also build naturally. And then, when we started this, I started this with Sai, and Manong Dani, and Rani. Manong Dani is an all-around carpenter. Apat lang kami actually noon na nag-start nito. And then, as we grew, maraming naging interested and volunteer. They come to learn with us. So, ganun po, nag-evolve yung farm namin with a lot of help from friends. And it's a malaking bagay talaga ang social media, because we have a web page, we have a blog, tapos meron yung Facebook page. Malaking bagay talaga yon to advocate yung amin pong mga gustong i-share sa marami. So, how do we augment the soil? Lahat ng biomass doon sa property, binabalik namin sa soil. Walang lumalabas doon. Sabi ko nga, if you excuse my term, walang taeng lalabas dito. Lahat. Ate, dito lang. Tapos, syempre yung mga kapitbahay, when they harvest the rice, itatambak lang nila yung kanilang pinag-harvestan. Kami, hahakutin namin lahat yun. Babalik namin sa lupa. Ganun lang po. Yung biomass, hinahaya lang namin mag-compost sa property. Tapos we have pigs. Wala na pala kaming pigs. We have goats, we have chickens, we have dogs. Yon, nakaka-contribute din sila ng malaki. Yun po.
Thank you.
So, doon naman sa question about how this urban garden become an attraction. I think meron tayong natural um or rather it's really innate for us to get attracted to really pretty things or nice things or green stuff, because lalo na ngayong pandemic, we crave for the outdoor and we want to be outside, and no other color will parang represent the outdoor than green. So we see green places. Kaya nga kailangan pa rin sa urban area ang green spaces kasi it really provides parang a place for relaxation, a place for being quiet and communing with nature. Isang napansin namin na change dito sa property na ginawa naming garden, nung nagtanim na kami ng mga puno, dumami yung mga ibon and insects. Dumami yung butterflies, yung bees, mga beetles, pati ants. Dumami yung ants. And dati naiinis ako sa mga langgam kasi ang sakit nila kumagat. Pero part naman kasi sila ng ecosystem, no? Pagkain din sila sa mga frogs, sa lizards, dumami rin ng frogs. But nung isang araw lang, nakakita ko ng oriole, which is not very common dito sa urban area. Pero nag-oriole dito sa may duhat namin. So sabi ko, wow, ang ganda. No? So kasi yung balcony ng house namin is facing our urban garden. Even if we don't the garden, we see it every day. So it provides us with parang it's really healthy for your mental health, no. So sa akin kasi yun ang epekto sa akin. I think ganun din ang epekto sa ibang tao kasi we experienced before the pandemic, they would stop, people who would drive in front of our house, to visit some friends within the village. They would sometimes stop there, and then nandun naman yung gardener ko, nandun siya lagi sa garden. They would ask him questions. Ano po ba to? Nagbebenta ba kayo ng halaman? In fact, naiisip na nga namin yun kasi even sa FB page may nagme-message sa akin sa Messenger, are you selling your plants? Kasi I keep on posting some of the plants that I have, the collection that we have. So, ganda-ganda sila. E naisip ko, nga, pwedeng pagkakitaan kahit pan lang para sa gardener ko para may extra income, no? Or at least, kasi may expense din naman talaga mag-maintain sa water. Lalo na nung summer, ang taas ng aming water bill kasi nga, you have to water them every day kasi sobrang dry nung summer. Pero ngayon tag-ulan, walang problema. Pero mga 2-3 days lang hindi umulan, kailangan na naman kami mag-dilig. But it's really attractive kasi especially for children, that's one way by which you can introduce them to the workings of nature kasi nung nag-start na mag-schooling yung apo ko at tinuro ng teacher yung parts of the plant, alam niya agad. Alam niya yung mga roots and what they're for, what are the stems, what are the leaves. Alam niya lahat yon. So, nag-i-increase yung knowledge and appreciation about nature. In fact, ang favorite animal, if you ask my apo, anong favorite animal niya? Millipedes. Kasi ang daming millipedes sa garden. Hindi siya natatakot, hindi siya nandidiri. And then, umiiyak siya pag may natatapakan ng millipedes. So, it's a very nice place for people to learn and to get acquainted with nature. So, I think meron talagang attraction ang mga gardens sa tao. So, they become tourist attractions din. No? Kailangan pag-isipan lang natin how to manage it for appreciation of other people. Okay. May ibang question pa ba related sa...
Meron ba? To those who ask their questions, nasagot ba yung tanong? I think so. Okay, there are sharing on the chat box. Let me read. Thanks a lot to the speaker on the Pita Project. I see this as an advocacy for an alternative way of living that is not extractive, the way capitalism is so designed. And then there's another sharing here from Liberty. I just want to share, meron na pong urban garden na ready na for touring. The garden is just a hallway around the house. And the main highlight of the garden is hydroponics. It's in Commonwealth Avenue inside a subdivision. And for the information of our two speakers, Ms. Chen and Ms. Carol, people here in the chat box are congratulating you, saying great presentation, and thanking you for your sharing. Okay, I think there's no more question, Ms. Marie.
Yes. I'm back. Thank you very much for that, Carlo, taking care of the open forum and everything.
Okay.
Yes, ang gaganda ng comments sa chat box. Maraming thank yous for really nice presentations. And so now we are going to move to our wrap-up portion. Carlo, I think baka meron kang huling hirit, no? Whatever you
Okay,
want to.
mag-end na tayo, no? So I just would like to say that it's always an honor to share the same Zoom screen, no, with this dedicated, committed, and passionate people, passionate environmentalists. Today, I learned a lot, and it was indeed very inspiring. Marie, thank you too for this opportunity to be your co-moderator. Okay.
Oh,
And
always. I want
thank
you
you
to
for staying
always be
until
my
the end.
co-moderator.
Yeah, okay.
Reserve na ha, all third Fridays. Reserve na.
Okay. Okay, so back
Okay,
to you.
so ako naman, yeah, ako naman kasi ang ganda ng presentation, yung si Ipat, sayang wala na siya, no? Pero nag-identify talaga, nakarelate ako sa kanya, yung may pakinabang lahat. Diba? Kahit yung mga bagay na we think are useless or bad, like a cockroach, sabi nga, may pakinabang lahat. There's a reason why they exist. No? God was not a careless creator. Lahat yan merong pakinabang. So, we just have to think that way para magamit natin ng husto yung mga bagay na ibinigay sa atin. Tapos yung regenerative, at saka pala, tamad din ako magtanim, pero natutuwa ako kasi mahal ako ng mga tanim, no? Like somebody gave me a branch na wala namang down, walang kahit ano, ng malunggay. So itinusok ko lang siya sa soil, dun sa old place ko. Tumubo siya, tapos lumaki siya, tumaas pa. And we were always getting malunggay from there for our tinola, for kung ano-anong uses, no? Tapos yung meron akong, like sabi ko nga kanina, meron akong basil, meron akong oregano, meron akong kamote, meron akong, ano ba to? Lemongrass. No, parang I don't know kung anong combination na meron doon na hindi kami nagkakaroon ng lamok sa bahay. So, ang suspecha ko yung combination ng lemongrass at saka ng tawag dito, yung oregano. Pero I'm not sure, I don't know. Pero nakakatuwa kasi tumutubo sila with so little care. You know, konting dilig-dilig lang. Minsan nakakalimutan for many days, pero tumutubo sila. And I miss those plants kasi I moved out, no? I'm in a new place right now. Magsa-start ulit ako magtanim. I remember when I was young, my dad had calamansi plant in our living room. Alam mo, sabi niya sa amin, ang mahal-mahal ng mga decorative plants. Sabi niya, we should plant food kasi kami, 10 kami. So he had a lot of mouths to feed, no? So siguro iniisip niya, magtanim lang tayo ng calamansi, tomatoes, mga ganyan. No? So siguro dun ko naisip yung kailangan talaga na nagtatanim. Kaya lang, wala rin nga akong tiyaga. I'm also a lazy gardener like Ipat. Pero thankfully, I'm blessed, no, na tumutubo sila. Siguro totoo na if you smile at them, if you love them, they will grow, no? Tapos yung regenerative farming, ang galing nun. Ang galing. You know, it's not just regenerative farming that we need, no? It's regenerative living. Kasi yung connection versus competition versus utilization, it's when hearts are connected, talagang productivity is not far behind, di ba? So connection talaga is important, no? So I really like that regenerative concept, no? So siguro we can devote one session to that of Kamayan sometime in the future. Yung concept lang na yun kasi it's very nice. I like it. So thank you very much to all our speakers for having enlightened us. And thank you to the participants for having joined us. Please continue to follow us. It's every third Friday of the month since 1990. Every third Friday na talaga siya. So para wala ng confusion, no? People could free up their calendars kasi sigurado na silang every third Friday. Carlo, every third Friday. So
For that, hindi na Monday, Friday. And I
okay,
sorry.
yes.
I owe you one presentation. Promise, just tell me anong anything under.
Yes, okay.
Pwede ako.
Yes.
I'm so sorry na.
Okay. Thank you for that.
Okay.
No, I understand. Thank you very much. And I would like to give you a few reminders and announcements. Yung December forum will be on December 18th. At saka may mga pakulo dyan. We have fun and we have surprises. Carlo, do you want to give them a peek into our December?
Okay. So on the same day, December 18, after our monthly Kamayan, we will have a mass and an Christmas party. Did you hear that? Christmas.
Nice.
Christmas party.
Yeah, why not?
So please save the date. An invite will be sent to you via email, and announcement will be posted on the Green Convergence FB page. So save the date.
Okay. Yes, another announcement is, we are Green Convergence together with, we're going to launch a set of children's books on Philippine native trees. Children's book ito, parang companion nung ating Philippine native trees series. We are already on our fourth book now. We are preparing the fourth book. And this is a set of 5 children's books. And yes, that's it. So we're going to launch it on December 8th at 3:30 p.m. Watch out for announcements so that you will be able to join the Zoom launch. Okay. And lastly, please do not leave after the talk of our president, Nina Galang, because we are going to take a souvenir shot of everyone. We always do that so that we have a batch picture, batch 365. Okay, so yes, and now we give you back our president, Dr. Nina Galang, for her final remarks.
Yeah. Well, before I forget, the children's books make a very good Christmas gift. So if you are interested, please order because they are of limited edition. But we can assure you it will be very educational for your children or your apos. Marami sa atin, apos na ang ating binibigyan ng Christmas gifts. Well, it has been a very, very informative and inspiring session in spite of the early glitches. Carol, your talk was really, it really gave us a real, the principles that we have been teaching. We are armchair environmentalists, much of us. But the principles that we've been teaching, I think you really actualize in your farm. The diversity that brings about stability, that brings about richness, that brings about connectivity. Everything that you are doing actualizes the call that we should be co-creators of God's kingdom. You are creating soil, you're creating water, you're creating or bringing back or bringing to your area great diversity in small and big animals, your passion and your belief in the importance of being stewards of God's creation. I wish we could broadcast to a bigger audience. We'll see how this can be done. Of course, your tips on how to do it, I hope will be propagated by your school that you're intending to put up after the pandemic. But online classes are always there. There are so many now. And maybe the field trips will come later. So I wish you good luck in your pursuit of an academy school, which will teach many people your concepts, the permaculture way and beyond, your own. Actually, you've already developed your own. Chen has been, of course, she calls me her mentor, but she's my mentor. She and her husband really introduced me to the wonder of corals, the coral reef ecosystem, when they guided me really by the hand, literally underwater in Batangas, and showed me the wonder of the underworld, the water world, the beautiful creatures there in the ins and outs of coral reefs. By the way, in my talks, I have been showing the positive environmental effects of this pandemic by showing them photos of the Makati skyline before the pandemic and the Makati skyline during the pandemic, which was very much clearer. And those photos are courtesy of Chen, who took them from her Antipolo house. Chen also is now dabbling in watercolor, and her daughter is a fantastic artist. And but of course, her themes are nature. So again, a family that embodies love for nature, for creation, and for the God that made them. Well, for like Marie, I appreciated EPATS because I'm also not very, hindi ko kinakareer yung planting. But we grow as much as we can with as little effort as we can, because as everybody knows, our household is a household of seniors and I'm the youngest. So let the soil yield what it will, wherever, whichever, as is where is. But yes, they do grow. And even Chen shared with me her method also, when she just throws seeds anywhere, and then where they sprout is where they want to sprout. So let nature do its magic wherever you allow it. There are many in this audience, I think, who have property outside the city, who I'm sure learned a lot and hopefully or might have been inspired to follow the principles of Carol. But many more are like us. We live in the city, and we have gained a lot of information from IPAT. So thank you very much, everyone, for joining us. Join us every month. And if any of you would like to share your own stories, your own topics, we would appreciate. We could schedule some session It will always be informative and educational for all of us. We are all environmentalists. We are all in pursuit of improving, preserving the earth as God wants us to protect it. So thank you, Chen, Carol, Ipat. Thank you all for joining us. God bless. Take care. See you on December
18.
18. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, stay there. We're going to have screenshots. Shafi?
Yes pa. Okay, good afternoon everyone. So if you'd like to be part of the batch photo pa, please turn your web cameras on. Thank you.
Videos on.
Okay pa, I'll take the first batch na po. Please look at your cameras. 1, 2, 3. And next batch. Please look at your cameras. 1, 2, 3. Okay po. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. God bless.
Thank you po. Thank
Bye,
you everyone.
everyone.
Bye.
Thank you, Nina.
Thank you.
Bye-bye, Nina.
Bye.
Have a
Good
good
day.
thank
See
you.
you on
And
Viber.
everybody. Thank you, everyone.
Keep in touch.
Thank you.
Sino? Mara.
Hi, Cora and Chris.
Hello, Doc.
How are you?
Merry Christmas.
Hello there.
Hi.